Yeah, usually I'm in the store, so it doesn't matter.
See, that's got like a proper.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it just happened to be the cheapest option.
So I got a 25 to 70 on it.
I think Josh got those.
You're hearing channel 2, they're not punched up.
He had the chip, hit up his kids on it. He's got 2 by sale.
No, we have 2 Grand Caramel TVs.
They're not that expensive. They're only at $12. Camera's cheap. Cameras are cheap. Well, the lens is about. Yeah, lenses are more expensive. Yeah, it's an art series, yeah.
But
This is more expensive than that.
hey guys, we're gonna do a quick audio check for you if you want to pay attention, and we'll just run through it.
Check, 1 2, check, 1 2, checking, 1 2 3 4 5, check, 1 2, check, 1 2, check, 1 2, check. Check. You get it.
Probando 1, 2, 3, testing. ¿Me escuchas? 1, 2, 3, probando. ¿Sí? ¿Me escuchas? A ver, ¿ahí se escucha? ¿Me estás agarrando sonido, Eric? 1, 2, 3, probando. Ok. Jackie López. ¿Ahí me escuchas? ¿Se está escuchando bien? ¿Estás agarrando el sonido? ¿Se escucha claro? Perfecto.
Stand by.
Here's the deal. I know that we were never on CRF until last year is when we started contributing to it. Here's what I'm going to go to. Yeah. Exactly. And nobody, Jocelyn has a laptop, but she so I need to do is I need to get 2 additional.
Check, check.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You good? You good? Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check.
Yeah, we're going to line up behind. It's sort of a panel, so it's pretty easy to walk up to the podium.
Good afternoon, welcome, thank you for being here today. Please join us for a moment of silence in honor of the 10 lives lost to this senseless act of violence. Thank you for being here. I am joined here today by Sam Weaver, Mayor of Boulder, Chris Maschuk, Deputy City Manager, Katarina Booth, the First Assistant District Attorney, Yvette Bowden, Assistant City Manager and Director of Community Vitality, Maris Harold, Chief of Police, Amy McCarthy from KUSA, Sarah Huntley, Director of Communications for the City of Boulder, and many others who have supported us in this journey. It's hard to believe that it has been 52 days since the unimaginable happened at our Table Mesa store. The unspeakable sense of loss that we have felt since we were shaken to our very core on March 22nd has been met with an unfathomable outpouring of love, compassion, and support from the community. We've always known that Boulder was a special place, but you've proven through your empathy, your strength, help, and support that Boulder is more than a place. It's even more than a community. Boulder is our family. You've shown us how deeply woven into the fabric of the community that our Table Mesa store and the incredible individuals who make up the heart and soul of the building truly are. We've long said that our people make the difference. And through this tragedy, this slogan has proven to be true, not only of our associates, but of the Boulder community as well. Our King Soopers family, our community have shown strength and resilience beyond measure, and we will continue to carry that strength as we navigate the grieving process and focus on healing. We continue to listen to our associates, our customers, and the community as we look to provide ongoing support. In response to your feedback, we are pleased to announce that we are working with the City of Boulder to expedite the rebuilding phase of our beloved Table Mesa store. We are making a significant investment to completely renovate both the interior and exterior of the building. The redesign will be thoughtful and will include input from our associates and the community. Feedback on the redesign is welcome and can be shared by emailing boulderstrong@kingsoopers.com. In partnership with the City of Boulder, we are working to accelerate the rebuilding process with the goal of a late fall reopening. We know that the building is just part of we know that the building is just part of what makes this store so special, and that restoring it is just another step in the journey that we continue to rebuild and heal. Our goal since day one has been to support the needs of associates, families, survivors, and the community affected by this tragedy. And we have taken several actions to deliver on that goal, including donating $1 million to the Colorado Healing Fund to support the victims, families, survivors, and the community affected by this tragedy. Donating the products from our Table Mesa location to Community Food Share. This donation will help sustain the Boulder community. And it is a monumental donation that is the largest donation Community Food Share has received in their 40 years. We're ensuring that our associates who were directly affected by the tragedy can recover with the support of emergency paid leave. Additionally, we will continue to operate our Community Resource Center, serving as a place of comfort, rest, and gathering in a setting where caring professionals and experts are available to provide mental health services and assistance to those who have been traumatized by the event. The Resource Center is located at 603 Broadway and will remain available to associates and the community Tuesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Counselors and other professionals from mental health partners, victims advocacy experts, comfort dogs, massage and acupuncture therapy will continue to be on site. We are committed to being here for the community as we continue the long healing process and as we support one another while grieving and healing together. We are resilient, we are in this together, and we are Boulder strong. With that, I would like to hand it over to the Mayor of Boulder, Sam Weaver.
Thank you, Jessica, and thank you all for being with us on this beautiful afternoon. The City of Boulder is gratified to be standing alongside King Soopers today to share this meaningful news of community rejuvenation. The confirmation that this essential neighborhood asset is going to be restored and revitalized is extremely welcome and very uplifting. The atrocity perpetrated 2 months ago still weighs heavily on Boulder, and this announcement launches a critical next phase in our shared healing process. Reestablishing this store, which provides sustenance, services, and a hub for our community, will be a great blessing to Boulder, and I want to thank the leadership of King Soopers for their partnership. We understand the vital role this essential grocery store plays in our city's social fabric, and especially to all of its South Boulder neighbors. It's an anchor of this thriving community center, and it helps support the many other highly valued businesses in the plaza. We can't wait to have the Table Mesa King Soopers back up and running and energizing its customers and staff as it has for many decades. As mayor, and speaking on behalf of all the members of City Council, we are committed to doing whatever we can to expedite the processes necessary to get this project rolling and facilitated to completion. I've been asked many times since the shooting what I saw as the most critical steps towards healing our community's wounds. I've always mentioned the reopening of this store as the most substantial milestone I envisioned to mark our return from tragedy. I'm so very pleased to be standing here today to begin this part of this journey. I'd like to remind us that the brick and mortar components of rebuilding, while integral to our goal of reopening the store, are just the physical parts of the picture. As a community, we need to continue to support all of the people who work and who shop in this neighborhood center as we recover. The folks behind the cash registers and the counters, those stocking the shelves, waiting on tables, and meeting customer service needs are the heart and the soul of the businesses here and of this store. Let's make sure that we're lifting them all up, the business owners, staff, and customers, as they heal and come to terms with what happened on March 22nd. As I look again at the tributes to loss, memory, and rebirth just across the street behind me, I'm moved by the outpouring of emotion and community support. Every flower, note, and totem left there reminds us that love triumphs over violence. As a city, we're committed to documenting and preserving these heartfelt memorials, and we're partnering with the Museum of Boulder to do so. After Memorial Day, the community can expect to see these tribute items removed from the temporary fence outside the shopping center. The museum will gather these memorial items for cleaning and to prepare them for preservation. They will also work with the victims' families to decide the best permanent home for the items. This might mean adding them to the museum's permanent collection or digitizing and documenting them and providing safe storage. The museum will hold these items in the public trust, acting as the protectors of these stories for the future. In the meantime, representatives from the city and volunteers and staff of the museum are conducting a weekly refresh of this area to respectfully maintain the memorials to those who were taken from us. In closing, the revitalization and reopening of this store sends a clear message that we will not be bowed by our recent tragedy and that hope and solidarity can overcome fear and hatred. Together, we will persevere and continue to thrive, reclaiming this common space for the vital uses it supports in our community. As a city, Boulder's people stand strong in support of this rebuilding project and all that it represents in our collective healing process. I sincerely thank King Soopers and the Kroger Company for their partnership in this labor of renewal. Thank you, and our Deputy City Manager, Chris Maschuk, will speak next.
Thanks, Mayor Weaver, and good afternoon. I'd like to reiterate that the city is prepared to be a collaborative partner in the months to come and to ensure that permits can be granted, plans reviewed and approved, and construction started in a timely manner. We have already assigned several key city employees to regular meetings with project manager and contractors for King Soopers. While we have a responsibility to ensure that city processes are followed, we are fully prepared to work together to coordinate heavily on the front end in hopes of ensuring a smooth path to the finish we all support. As the mayor mentioned, as we return this space to its original purpose, you will begin to see some changes across the street as the summer begins. A citywide team is working in partnership with the Kroger Company and the museum to develop a plan to continue to honor the victims at this location throughout construction. Details of this plan are still being finalized. In addition, this team is having conversations about a permanent Boulder Strong Memorial to mark the tragedy and honor the victims. These discussions are in the very early stages, while being mindful of the necessary time to pause for reflection and for healing. Development of a long-term Boulder Strong Memorial is anticipated to take several years. There are no specifics to consider yet: what a memorial might look like, how much it would cost, or even if it would be located near the site or elsewhere in Boulder. Thoughtful consideration and input from those impacted by the tragedy, as well as the broader community, will be a core component of the process. In the coming year, there will be opportunities for community engagement on memorializing this tragedy long-term, and we invite our entire community to participate in that process. And on behalf of our city employees, many of whom shop at this store regularly or occasionally, I echo Mayor Weaver's enthusiasm about this announcement. I have an incredibly talented colleague, Assistant City Manager Pam Davis, who was by my side for many days in the wake of the shooting, and she wrote a poem to help process her grief. It's called "The Public Square is a Grocery Store," and I'd like to share an excerpt of that today. The public square is a grocery store. While I'll insist till I'm through that government matters too, the grocery store matters more. It's open daily from morning to midnight hours. Wave to your neighbors and remember you're out of flour. Pay for your things when the cash register rings and smile as you walk out the door. Came in for a carton of milk, left with a little more. 8 years ago, I served to help a mountain town after the flood. Because I was a visitor, I picked out nightly dinner from the grocery store up the road from Town Hall. Day after day, I stood in the checkout line, eavesdropping on conversations that weren't mine, observing a community full of despair, finding solace and connections in the public square. In the beginning, they were united by grief, angry, upset, needing relief. Over time, they were proud, showing strength through their tears, inspired by each other to persevere. My last day in town, I took a walk about, and the thank you card aisle was completely sold out. 8 years later, I'm just down the mountain, and the public square is still a grocery store. For months, all who have loved it have exclaimed, "It's essential. Open in a pandemic, it's that consequential." Except for this time, it's fenced off on all sides, with broken windows and empty checkout lines. After the actions of one, just a man with a gun, there are no thank you cards for sale today. The public mourns outside the square after it was stolen away, but outside the fence, there are so many cards: sad cards, mad cards, prayer cards. 10 good people died, and no one knows why, and the man was marched out the door. No shirt, no shoes, just funeral services. The thing about public squares, though, the thing about grocery stores, is that even when they are broken, even when they are not open, they still belong to everyone. I keep hearing that truth spoken. In every place I have been, every face that I've seen, is someone saying, that's my grocery store. And because it belongs to all of us, from the big to the small of us, no one can take it from all of us. Windows can be repaired, the memories can still be shared, and once again, we will return to the public square. Next is Amy McCarthy from KUSA, who will talk about the important services available to all community members impacted by the March 22nd tragedy. The city is so grateful to be partnering with victims advocates and mental health partners in recognizing the emotional health trauma and resource needs that continue to exist long after something like this happens in a community. Amy?
So my name is Amy McCarthy, and I am the mass incident responder for KUSA, the Colorado Organization for Victim Assistance. This is not my first mass tragedy response, but after each one, I hope that it's my last. The victim service response was immediate here in Boulder, and we have been here since the beginning and have worked alongside the amazing people in this community in an effort to create healing through resources and connection. The King Soopers team has been absolutely pivotal in their reaction to this unfortunate tragedy. Their support of both their King Soopers associates and their families, and of all the helpers that have been working to create support and advocacy, has been nothing short of extraordinary. It is commendable in the face of such overwhelming loss. And in rebuilding the store, King Soopers offers this community an opportunity to embrace its resiliency and embark on a path forward to healing. In the face of unspeakable violence, what I know to be true is that when we do not rebuild communities, if we do not stand together in the midst of this tragedy, then violence wins. By rebuilding what was torn apart by violence, we can reclaim and reimagine a symbol of resilience and strength for the future of this community and this city and this state. And no matter what, as a community, as a city, and as a state, we must know that our belief in the inherent goodness of people, the humanity of our neighbors, and then the people that rush in to help, that love and compassion must always win. I'd like to introduce now Sarah Huntley. I believe she will be taking questions.
Thank you. That's the end of our formal remarks for today. We do have time for a few questions, and I'd be happy to facilitate that process. Yes?
Sarah, at any point did you guys consider perhaps tearing down the building altogether?
I think that's a King Soopers question.
Thank you for the question. That is something that we considered. At this point, we're looking at maintaining the store and just rebuilding from the outside in. Thank you.
Yes?
Chief, I'm not sure if you'd be willing to offer some words about how your department is doing 52 days later and how you've moved forward while still remembering Officer Talley.
Sure. Thanks for the question and the concern. Obviously, this continues to be a struggle for the police department, but I'll tell you what, people like that are behind me and the community have given the police department such unbelievable support. And I'll just take this opportunity to thank the community, because without the community, we wouldn't have gotten through this. And they have been so wonderful and so compassionate. And I just want to say thanks.
I wonder, is there going to be any permanent memorial for Officer Talley? Is that something that's in the works?
We're working with city officials on that as well. And it is my desire to have one. And so, yeah, thank you.
Yes?
My question is for Jessica. What would you tell employees who were here the day of the shooting, many who just don't feel comfortable getting fathom walking back into the store?
For us, excuse me, thank you for the question. For us, our number one goal is to support our associates, and so we've been working on the back end to make sure that when the store reopens, if our associates are ready to come back, that they feel comfortable re-entering the store. Thank you.
How much will those employees play a part in memorial and rebuilding? Will they have a say in the community as well?
Absolutely. As part of rebuilding the store and identifying the memorial, we want that feedback, and we want it from our associates as well as the community so that we make sure it really makes sense for our team as well as the Boulder community.
Yes. Jessica. It's okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? So we felt that it's important to make sure that our associates are supported as they continue to go through the grieving process. So we are making sure that those associates are still receiving emergency pay through June 19th. Thank you. We're still discussing security measures and what the complete redesign will look like, but it is definitely a topic of conversation is security and safety measures in general. Thank you.
Have employees of this store been offered transfers to other King Soopers stores if they wish in the meantime, and talk about how many
So those are details that we're going to maintain between us and our associates at this time, but thank you for the question.
We'll go ahead and wrap up then. Thank you so much for everybody coming out today and helping us share this exciting news. This was live streamed on our city website, and I'm sure that all the channels will get the news out for us this evening. Thank you so much.